The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. And we have a special guest for the start of the show today. It's the baseball guru himself, the one who just knows what to do. It's Dave Gardner. And so, Dave, what are your thoughts? I'm so leaving myself open here. For the 2001 7-9 Anaheim Angels and the 12-4 Seattle Mariners.
Are either of these teams in the National League, Bob?
No, they're American League teams. We have a DH, Edgar Martinez, the Hall of Famer, the DH for Seattle, and Hill. I don't even know who the heck that is. So it's Pat Rapp and John Halama on the hill today. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Is Frank Tanana pitching in this game, Bob?
No, Frank Tanana's not pitching in this game today. But you're right, he did pitch for the Angels.
Okay, where's the game being played again?
We're playing this. It's April 20th, 2001 from Safeco Field in Seattle.
So it's the day after my birthday.
Yes.
Field in Seattle still has a team?
Seattle still has a team, caller, yes.
Is it the Kraken?
No, not the hockey team. It's the baseball team, the Mariners.
The Mariners, okay. Well, if Frank Tanana's not pitching, then I give the Mariners a good chance.
Okay, any other words of wisdom?
No, Bob, I just want to say great show. I tune in all the time. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
All right, well, you have a fun time doing the Pickle Rick thing.
All right, I'm on my way to the rink. I got a junior hockey game today, so
All right, take care.
love you.
Love you too, darling. And that is the strangest open in Retro Sports Network history. As Retro Sports Network proudly presents 2001 an Action PC Season Odyssey. Today from Safeco Field in Seattle, it is the Seattle Mariners. Well, I lost my viewer. How about that? The Seattle Mariners and the Anaheim Angels. And, oops, don't do that, Ron. Today's game will be brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so, welcome to the program for this 18th day of January 2023. It is the Mariners and the Angels from Seattle. Seattle, we thought they'd be hot from the get-go, and they are. They are 12-4. This is game 17 for them. This is also game 17 for the Anaheim Angels. The last year, they're dressed like Disney people. The Angels, at one point, when I scheduled this game, were in second place. They have slipped down to fourth. John Halama gets the call this afternoon for Seattle. The lefty is 29 years old. Fastball at 86 and a ground ball pitcher. He is making his fourth start of the year. Halama only threw 110 innings, so this will be a short one. His last start was in Anaheim 5 days ago on the 15th. 5 innings, 81 pitches, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a homer. He's given up 1 in all 3 starts. So he's 1-0 coming into this with an earned run average of .394. 16 innings, 21 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 3 homers, 2 of those from against the Oakland A's. He has walked 2 and struck out 8. Here's how Anaheim lines up for this one. Darren Erstad in center leads off. Gill is at short. He'll bat second. Tim Salmon is in right. He'll go third. Troy Glaus cleans up at third base. Garrett Anderson in left will bat fifth. Benji Molina, Yadier's brother, behind the plate goes sixth. I want to say Glenn Allenhill is a DH. He'll bat seventh. Kennedy at second, batting eighth, and Wooten at first, batting ninth. Pat Rapp on the mound. He should go about 110 pitches. Seattle lines up like this: Martin and lefties an 8 and a 2. Javier is a 6 and 2 in center, and Ichiro is a 10 and 8 in right. David Bell, who's off to a flying start, a 6 at third. Carlos Guillen, I think, is a 3 at short. Brett Boone, a 6 at second. John Olerud, a 6 at first. Lampkin gets the call behind the plate, a 5 and a 3. And Halama is a lefty. He's an 8 on the mound with a 968 fielding percentage. So if you missed the open, we had a nice little chat with Mr. Gardner going to his game. Say hi if you're watching. Darren Erstad at 319, a home run, and 11 RBI. Roof is open, took 62 degrees, and barely any wind at all as we get going here in the home of the Goats. Halama starts his afternoon with a ground ball to second. Boone over to first, 1 out. Dave and I expect to tape Digital Dice tomorrow. In fact, we're going to use that thought-provoking question I got. What do you do when you play a team you don't like? Here's Benji Gill. Benji at 388, a home run and 4 RBI. Alama kicks and fires, and Gill sends this one into left field. Martin going back will make the catch, and there is 2 out. For Tim Salmon, Tim at 216, a home run and 9 RBI. It'll be the Mets and the Reds tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on Retro Sports Network. Pitch to Salmon. There's a ground ball to third. Bell over to Olerud, and the Angels go down in order. After half an inning here in Seattle, it's Anaheim nothing. Here come the Mariners. And Pat Rapp. I don't know what Pat raps, but he does. He's 33 years old, a fastball pitcher at 87 and a ground ball pitcher, and he's making his 4th start of the replay. He'll make 28 total. Seattle just shredded him 5 days ago in an 8-5 loss for Anaheim. 4 1/3 innings, 90 pitches, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned. The home run he allowed, he walked 5 and struck out 3. So Pat wasn't his own best friend in this particular outing. 14 innings in total, 14 hits, 9 runs, 7 earned, 1 homer. Control is an issue. He's right on a 1949 with these numbers. 16 walks and 10 strikeouts. A 1-2 mark and an earned run average of 4.5. But surprisingly, that's better than his real-life ERA of 4.76. Ichiro leads off for Seattle in right field. Stan Javier will bat second and play center. Edgar Martinez, the DH, goes third. John Olerud cleans up at first. Brett Boone at second, batting fifth. Martin in left goes sixth. Lampkin behind the plate, batting seventh. David Bell at third goes eighth, and Guillen at short, batting ninth. Halama threw 15 pitches in his half of the first. Looking at the Angels in the outfield, Garrett Anderson is a 6 and a 5 in left, Erstad an 8 and a 5 in center, and Salmon a 6 and a 7 in right. You can start to see why the Angels were successful next year in 02. Troy Glaus is 7 at third, Benji Gill an 8 at short. Adam Kennedy is a 6 at second, Wooten is a 2 at first, Benji Molina a 6 and a 3 behind the plate, and Rapp, not a bad fielding pitcher, he's an 8 with a 978 fielding percentage. Ichiro at 310 already has 3 homers and 9 RBI. Rapp winds and deals, and Ichiro slaps this one in the left center for a base hit. Anderson will pick it up, and Seattle, it's one of the reasons why they're off to a 12-4 start. Here's Javier, staying at 167 with an RBI. So Javier digs in. Suzuki not going anywhere. Ground ball, left side base hit. Anderson picks it up. And the Mariners are cooking with gas. Runners on first and second. And nobody out for Edgar Martinez, who is off to a huge start for Seattle. 339, 4 homers, and 15 RBI. Rapp kicks and fires. Martinez into right field and long gone. That is in the concession area in right center. And with a blink of an eye, Seattle has a 3 spot on the board. So Edgar hits his 5th of the year. Rapp caught so much of the plate, that was almost a T-ball homer. And Edgar almost put that off the facing there on the auxiliary scoreboard in right center field. So a good start for Seattle. And a 3-0 lead. So they give Halama, who's looking to be about a 5-inning pitcher today, 3 runs. Here's Olerud. John at 310. A home run and 5 RBI. Rapp trying to gather. Oops. It's helpful if I hit the right button. Rapp rubs up the baseball as he watches the home run on the replay board. As the Seattle sound crew plays Dave Niehouse's Get Up, Get Up. Now he's ready. Olerud walked. So Rapp getting a bad one here to start. 4 pitches. That one missed low and inside, and that'll bring up Brett Boone. Hitting .411. 4 homers and 17 RBI. 3-0 Seattle, and we don't have an out on the board. Rapp from the set. Might be 2. Wooten has it. He goes to Gill for 1, and there's no throw to first. So 3-6 on the fielder's choice. 1 out for Al Martin. Now why are we letting up? At 2:35, no homers and 3 RBI. He walked him. So Rapp, wow. He's already thrown 21 pitches. He's only got 1 out. Here's Tom Lampkin, 389. No homers and 3 RBI. Pitch to Tom. There's a slow bounder over the mound. Benji Gill goes to first for the sure out there. And the runners move up 92 out. For David Bell at 304, 4 homers and 8 RBI. Never a good sign if you're a pitcher in the first inning and you're facing the number 8 hitter already. Guillen on deck. Rapp sets and fires, and there's a line drive left field. That's going to rattle around the corner. Boone will score. Al Martin drives his Volvo around third. He's going to score. Bell is into second standing, and it's 5-0 Seattle already. And so Pat Rapp, who went 5-12 in real life for Anaheim, is taking the rap for this one. And that'll bring up Carlos Guillen at 311, no homers, and 3 RBI. The good news for Anaheim fans, ground ball to third. Glaus has it. Troy across the way, and that will retire the side. The only good news is that Seattle puts up 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and they leave a runner on. Wednesday business person special. Hello. Hello, how are you? We'll have the Reds and the Mets for you tomorrow from Cincy. Is that you got 24 outs to get those back. And Troy Glaus will lead off here the second at 250, 3 homers, and 13 RBI. So the Mariners put a 5 spot on the board here in the first. Halaman starts the second, struck him out. He got him to chase a 2-2 curve. Fouled in the glove of Lampkin, 1 out. For Garrett Anderson at 348, a home run and 16 RBI. You play each other 19 times or whatever it is in the division over the course of the season, you're going to have some that aren't going to work out. Anaheim 7-9. Anderson to third. Bell, easy pickup over to first. 2 out. This Seattle team is something special. Here's Benji. Benji absent for picture day at 333, a home run and 3 RBI. 2 out, Halama deals. Fly ball left field, Martin in the corner. And Al will make the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the second here in Seattle. My voice production teacher would not have liked how I said that. 5-zip M's. And so how do you know when you're having a bad day on the mound? When it's the second inning, and I can say after the opening 9, Rapp has thrown 31 pitches, 1 inning, 4 hits, the 3-run shot by Edgar, and he walked 2. And so Rapp's whip, he's got some appeal on that, is 2.4. I'm not quite sure about WAR and all that, but Raps has got to be negative with a whip at 2.4000. Here's Ichiro. He singled and scored in the first. And he's going to single, at least this time, into right center. Salmon will pick it up. And that's a leadoff hit. So we'll wait to see what Rapp does with Ichiro. Here's Javier. Stan singled and scored on the Edgar homer. Rapp goes to the plate. Javier draws the walk. And the Angels bullpen is going to need to get busy in an awful big hurry. Edgar Martinez already has a 3-run shot. He now has 5 homers on this young year. This is game 17 for Seattle. And he's already driven in 18. Got him. A 1-2 fastball, and Rapp finally gets an out here. Here's Olerud. Double steal is on. Molina throws to third. Ichiro has it stolen. So the Angels are asleep in the outfield. So that's the 4th for Ichiro. And Javier picks up the businessman special steal. And it's a 1-ball count to Olerud, who walked his first time up. Draws the walk again. They're loaded. And Mike Scioscia's getting loaded in the Angel dugout on some Olympia. Here's Brett Boone. Brett has an RBI on a fielder's choice. 5-0, 1 out, bottom of the second. And a game that's going to be as memorable as as long as it takes to get to my car. Pitch to Boone. He walked home Ichiro. It's 6-0. So here's Al Martin. Says a business person special is going to be a 3-martini lunch for the Angels here. Al walked and scored his first time up. That's the 5th walk from Rapp. And the play-by-play is doing its best Tim McCarver imitation. Rapp isn't sharp today. Got him. That's 2 out. A 1-2 fastball and a Bronx cheer here from the sellout crowd in Seattle. So here's Lampkin, who's 0 for 1. Pat is up to 61 pitches with 2 outs here in the second. Pitch to Tom. Popped up. They're going to get out of this with just the run. Adam Kennedy plays with the lights, makes the catch on the grass, and that will retire the side. Mariners leave him loaded. Which, if you're an Angel fan, you've had a couple Olympias, and you're loaded too. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. Go to the third here in Seattle. 6-0 M's. I was right. It was Glenn Allen Hill. As the Angels bat 7-8-9 here in the third. Glenn Allen at 205, 2 homers, and 6 RBI. Halama sets and fires. Ground ball to Olerud. Halama towards the bag. John underhands it to him. 1 out. So here is Adam Kennedy. Not off to a hot start. 2 for 21. That's an 0.95 average. Halama has been given 6 runs here to play with. In the left, Martin in the corner. 2 out. So it's Sean Wooten. Sean at 316, a home run, and 4 RBI. How you doing, Big Dave? I'm doing well. Hopefully you are as well. Excuse me, not as good as Seattle. Has a 6th spot on the board with 2 out in the top of the third. Pitch to Wooten. There's a fly ball left field. Martin will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2.5, 6-0 Seattle. For those of you that joined us late, when this goes up on the YouTube tomorrow, watch the first couple minutes of the video. I have a guest. So it'll be David Belt, Carlos Guillen, and Ichiro here in the third. David, 2-run double in the first to make it 5-0. So Rapp looks bewildered out there. And Bell punches this one over second into center field. Erstad will field it. And Seattle again now has their 6th hit. So here's Carlos Guillen. Carlos is 0 for 1. Right up the middle, might be 2. Rapp only play is to first. He never even tried for Bell. Now who's hurt? It is Guillen. Guillen rolled his ankle coming out of the box. Had plenty of time. Didn't even try for Bell. 1 out. And here's Ichiro. He has singled twice, scored twice, and stole a bag. Opening 18 for Rapp with 1 out here in the third. 2 in the third innings, 68 pitches. His earned run average today is 23-14. Sounds like a check number, doesn't it? 2 in the third, 6 hits, the home run to Edgar, 5 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Ichiro got him. A full count fastball on the black outside. 2 out. For Javier, Stan has singled and walked. There goes Bell into left center. Erstad will chase that one down, and that will retire the side. So Guillen got his ankle taped between innings. We go to the 4th. No runs, a hit. The Mariners have left on 5, but when you lead 6-0, who cares? So top of the lineup for Halama. Opening 9, 36 pitches, 3 hits, and a strikeout. And so we're just going to say everyone right now is 0 for 1 for Anaheim. Halama starts the 4th, and that'll take care of the no-hitter as Erstad bounces that one into center field. So no Bobby Witt decision-making here, dadgummit. And that'll bring up Benji Gill. Benji, of course, is 0 for 1. Throw to first. Erstad has good speed, and he is back. And if you want to steal down 6 runs, I'm going to let you. Gil, base hit, right center field. Ichiro has to play it off the wall. Actually, Javier will do that. Erstad will round third. Gil is in the second standing. The Angels are on the board. Gil is digging for 3. The throw to Bell is not in time. So that's his second triple of the year. And sometimes there's a little bit of the devil in the Angels as they're fighting back. Here is Salmon. Again, repeated after me. He is 0 for 1. Alama kicks and fires, and Salmon strikes out. An 0-2 fastball in there at the knees for the first out. So here's Glaus. Troy is the other strikeout victim. Line drive to third. Bell looks Gil back to the bag. 2 out. Hope your Wednesday's going well. Here's Anderson. Garrett 0 for 1. 6-1 Seattle. 2 out, top the 4th. High fly ball, right field, and that ball is well out of here. Oh, baby. And for Garrett Anderson, a star shine on the halo for that one, and the lead is cut in half. It's now 6-3. That one looked like it caught the inside edge, and Anderson was all over it. So the person carrying the extra beers on the walkway, put the box down and get yourself a souvenir. So 6-3. Got ourselves a tennis score up there. 6-3, 6-3. Seattle and straights. Here's Benji Molina. He's 0 for 1. Alama's coughed off a hairball here. And there's a base hit into center field. Javier, he is going to let this one drop so it stays in front of him. And that'll bring out Glenn Allen Hill. Yep, Bernie, going to be one of those games. At least it's entertaining when it's like that. Glenn Allen is 0 for 1. Halama has lost the script here in the 4th. Lampkin goes out and says, "Would you just, try not to get slaughtered out here." Line drive, third base side, and somebody from Bellingham made that catch. It's a foul ball. The count is 0-2 to Glenn Allen Hill. Runner goes, ground ball to Boone at second. Brett goes over to first, and that will retire the side. The Angels, however, get 3-2 on the mammoth homer by Garrett Anderson. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and leave a runner on. Bottom of the 4th, 6-3 Seattle. And as we play the games on this Friday night, let's take a look at the standings. Would you have bet that the Marlins would have led the Braves by 5.5 at any point in the 2001 season? Well, that's the way it is. The Reds still lead Pittsburgh by 2.5. And in the National League West, everybody's in it. San Francisco, Arizona, and San Diego are all 9 and 6. In the American League East, the Red Sox are starting to come back down to earth. The Yankees are in town over the weekend, and they've won 3 straight, 2 games back. Chicago, who you'll see twice next week, once against the Mariners, 11-3 in a 4-game lead over Cleveland and the Twins. In the West, Seattle is already printing playoff tickets. They're 12-4. Anaheim at 7-9. Seattle has scored 86 runs. Texas, look at that. They lead the American Leagues in runs scored. They've scored 98 in 17 games. But they've given up 122. The White Sox, on the other hand, in 14 games, have given up all of 40. And that's why the Rangers are 6-11. Edgar homered to right center his first time up. 1 for 2. He struck out his second. This time around in the center field, Erstad rides the Schwinn coming in, 1 out. So Rapp has settled down, and his team has given him some runs. Here's Olerud. John has walked twice. Going to get the bat off the shoulder this time. Kennedy over to first, and it's going to go in the books 4-3. So 2 out for Brett Boone, who has walked and hit into a fielder's choice. It's a good thing I get a commercial before I got to read the summary. It's going to be a long one in a moment. Chopper foul first base side. Some guy who owns a houseboat on Puget Sound made that play. 2-2 the count to Boone. Rapp sets and fires into right center. Everybody's kind of going for this one. Erstad calls for it, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. So after erupting for 6 runs in the first 2 innings, Rapp, basically in a relief appearance of himself, has set down 7 straight. After 4, 6-3 Seattle. So it'll be Kennedy, Wooten, and Erstad. Adam is 0 for 1. And Lama in line for his second win of the year. Popped up right side, Olerud reaching over and can't get it. Can't get it. So an 0-2 count. This time a ground ball to second. Boone over to first. And this time they get Kennedy. 1 out for Sean Wooten, who's 0 for 1. You guys are quiet today. Pitch to Wooten. There's a high ground ball to Bell. Has a good throw. A bang play. And I think Wooten kind of stopped and watched for a split second. And that helped out. That ball was hit right on the sweet spot, and Bell had to snare it. So 2 out. Halama, opening 18, 59 pitches, 4 2/3, 4 hits. The home run to Garrett Anderson. He hasn't struck out, or hasn't walked anybody, and struck out 2. Well, you're hardly working hard. What movie is that from? Are you working hard or hardly work? No, I'm hardly working. Anyway, Erstad 1 for 2, a single and a run scored. Lama walked him. So Erstad 4 down and away, and that curve missed. So here's Gill. Benji tripled and scored. He's 1 for 2. That came in the fourth, because I can read. This time around, struck him out. So we got him looking to end the inning, halfway home on a 40-degree cloudy day here in Burlington, Vermont. It's the Mariners 6, the Angels 3. Kind of like those jeans your mom pulls out every once in a while that made you gag. Pitching has made a comeback. Yep. Joined us late, really. Take the time to watch the first 2 minutes of the stream, either on Twitch or tomorrow on YouTube. You'll get a giggle out of it. Seattle got 5 in the first. Edgar Martinez slammed a 3-run shot, his 5th of the year, to make it 3-0. And then David Bell, a 2-run double to make it 5-0. In the second, Seattle, who batted around or sent 9 to the plate. It's one of those questions. You guys can answer this. Baseball Demos and I were talking a long time ago. Is it batting around if the 10th batter doesn't reach the plate? They go through the lineup once, but does the leadoff hitter have to hit again for you to consider that batting around? Anyway, in the second, Seattle sent 7 more to the plate, but only got 1 run, a bases loaded walk to Brett Boone to score Ichiro. In the fourth, Anaheim cut the lead in half. A Benji Gill triple scored Darren Ernst. Yes. Okay. So yes what? Garrett Anderson, a 2-run mammoth bomb to right center to have the lead. So Rapp, again, not having a great day. 6 hits through 4 and all 6 runs are earned. Halama pitching like an end of a rotation starter too. A 4-hitter through 5, and Anaheim is a 3 spot on the board. 10 batters to consider batting around, Bernie says. Al Martin leads off the bottom of the 5th. Rapp, again, probably towards the end of his afternoon or evening here. 57 degrees. Games of April 20th, by the way. Friday night, April 20th, 2001. Martin has walked, scored, and struck out. And he draws another walk. That's the 6th for Rapp. Here's Lampkin. Tom is 0 for 2. I kind of argued that once you flip the lineup with 9, but yes, if you're going to bat around, I believe Bernie and Demos is right. You need to get to that 10th batter. Never a good sign. Lampkin hits a ground ball to short. Gill might get 2 out of this if he can have a play. Kennedy for 1, and Lampkin's going to reach as the throw is late, so it's a 6-4 fielder's choice, 1 out. Here's Bell. David 2 for 2. A double and 2 RBI. He's now driven in 10. That's going to be a base hit into left center field. Anderson's going to get it off a hard hop off the grass. Lampkin is going to hold. Not even going to bluff. He's going to hold. So first and second, 1 out for Carlos Guillen, who is 0 for 2. Molina and Rapp have a word. And that word is bourbon. Walked him. They're loaded, and so Scioscia's got the bottle out again. 7 walks for Rapp. He's now walked 23 in 18 and a third innings. Again, this is right out of 1949, and here's Ichiro. So Rapp, my goodness, he's faced 27 batters in 4 and a third innings. World's Worst Gamer is pulling his hair out with the computer AI with this one. 103 pitches, 4 and a third innings, 7 hits. The 3-run bomb by Edgar Martinez. Rapp has walked 7 while striking out 3 and is whipping this one. Devo would be embarrassed. It's 3.231. Ichiro is 2 for 3. He has singled twice, struck out, and stolen his 4th base. That was a third. Pitch to Ichiro. There's a ground ball to first. If it plays, no, he goes to Gill for 1, and Benji's just going to hold on. So it's a fielder's choice. Lampkin scores, and that'll do it for Pat Rapp. And Pat's last name is appropriate for what Seattle did to him. Lou Poti. Coming in, 7-3 Seattle. So Lou is 29 years old. He's a right-hander, curveball at 89, and a ground ball pitcher. Making his 8th appearance of the year. Pitched 4 nights ago against the A's in Anaheim's 3-2 win. They can go 75 pitches, so he can go a while here, and I think Anaheim will take advantage of that. Inning in 2/3 his last time out, 27 pitches. A hit was a solo home run, He didn't walk anybody and struck out 2. So overall, no record, an earned run average of 587. 7 2/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 2 homers. He has walked 3 while striking out 7. Runners on the corners, 2 out for Javier. Stand 1 for 2. He has stolen a base on the other end of that double steal. Walked and scored and single. Pitch. There's a ground ball to Kennedy, and that'll be the end of the inning as he goes to first with it. But the Mariners get another run. We've played 5 here in Seattle. It is 7-3 Mariners. So Salmon, Glaus, and Anderson to face Halama. Tim is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Got him. That's 4 for John. A 2-2 fastball. Got him looking inside. And that'll bring up Glaus, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Here's a liner in the right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Javier got a bad jump on it, and that's Troy's 5th double. Stan should have had that one. 5th hit. And here's Anderson, who put one on the walkway on the second deck. He now has driven in 18 with his 2 homers. Halama deals. Right back up the box. Halama throws to first for the out. So 2 out for Benji. Molina is 1 for 2. Glaus towards third. Boone has it over to Olerud, and we're through 5.5. Angels get a hit. Leave them on. After bottom of the 6th we go. 7-3 Seattle. So is that Pote or Potty? P-O-T-E. Or Potty. I've been told I have a potty mouth. Here's Edgar. A 3-run homer in the first. Got this Mariner offense going. It's now 7-3 as we play the bottom of the 6th. Line drive or right to Wooten for the out. Good play. So here's Olerud. He's walked twice and is 0 for 1. Lou again can throw 75 pitches. And that can save an arm or 2 because 75 should get you 4. Right field. Back goes Salmon to the track. And it is gone. It is 8-3 Seattle. So Olerud rides one down the line for a home run. And that's his 2nd. That one rode the Polar Express. And Salmon just turned and watched it go. He thought he had a chance for a little bit, but nope. And Seattle leads 8-3. How did this team lose in the playoffs? I mean, their offense is just so deep. Here's Boone. Brett 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice. He's driven in 18 now. Scored and walked. Pitch from Lou. Ground ball to short. Gill over Wooten for the out. 2 out for Al Martin. Al is 0 for 1. He's walked twice and struck out. Scored a run. 8-3 Seattle. Ground ball to Wooten. Sean to the bag, and that will retire the side. Not before more runs. A solo homer from John Olerud. Asphyxiation. He choked. Go to the 7th. 8-3 Seattle. So it'll be Hill, Kennedy, and Wooten here in the 9th, or the 7th, in an 8-3 game. Glenn Allen is 0 for 2. Alama deals, and there's a fly ball to left. Martin, that'll stay in the yard. 54 here in Seattle, 1 out for Adam Kennedy, who is 0 for 2. So Halama will be given to the next base runner. And that won't be Kennedy as he strikes out a check swing fastball at 82. Bugs Bunny said that's a good one. So 2 out for Wooten, who is 0 for 2. And Sean laces this one into left center, and Martin will pick it up, and that'll be the evening for Mr. Halama. But 6 2/3, and he's going to leave with a 5-run lead. So he's looking to be 2-0 on the season. It'll be Erstad, lefty, righty, righty, and it'll be the nasty boy, Norm Charlton. Brad, where are you when we need you? So Charlton coming in. Norm making his 5th appearance of the year. The Sheriff is 38. He's Marshall Dillon for crying out loud. Fastball tops out at 90. He's a ground ball pitcher. And in your heart of hearts, you know that he is still a nasty boy. He last pitched against the Rangers on the 17th, so 3 nights ago. He went 1 inning in a 10-3 loss to Texas through 16 pitches and a strikeout. So overall, 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He's already allowed 2 homers. Anaheim took him deep on the 13th in a 6-4 win by Seattle. He has walked 3 and struck out 7. So Wooten with good speed on first. Erstad is 1 for 2. Darren has singled, walked, and scored, and that came in the 4th. They throw to Wooten, or Olerud rather, and Wooten is back. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Angels. They've left on 3. 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and Seattle has left on 7. Runner stays into right center. Javier will track that one down, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no error. Stretch time, 8-3, Seattle. Mets and Reds tomorrow. Noon Eastern from Synergy Field in Cincinnati. Next week's highlight, the White Sox and the Mariners. Another battle of first-place teams here on Retro Sports Network. Lampkin is 0 for 3 with a run scored. Not planning on a Friday stream, but if the weather kind of changes the mood, you'll see some golf. But right now, we're not thinking of it. And so the PGA, or My Pro Golf Life, will return next week. Lampkin's 0 for 3. Lampkin draws the walk. So here's Bell. David's had himself a day. 3 for 3. He has singled twice, doubled, driven in 2. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th. 8-3 Seattle. Bell. Left field. Anderson in the corner. That ball was well hit. Tailing foul, but Anderson snares it before it can go completely foul. Lampkin goes back to first. Anderson actually had to reach in, get around some goats that are there to make the catch. 1 out. So here's Carlos Guillen, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. There goes Lampkin. Molina, not his brother, throws it down to Benji, and they throw him out. He channels his brother. Lampkin had an 84% chance to steal in the bag, and Benji threw him out. So catcher versus catcher, and bada bing, bada boom. 2 out for Guillen. It was a 1-ball count. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Pody's pitch to third. Glaus has it. Troy, long throw across the way to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the top of the 8th. 8-3 Seattle. So Gill, Salmon, and Glaus. Benji 1 for 3, triple. Drove in his 5th. Scored and struck out. Charlton stays in the ball game, and Benji draws the walk. Brings up Salmon, who's 0 for 3. Tim has struck out twice. Angels have left on 4 on 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The Mariners 7 on 8 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Pitch to Salmon. Up the middle, might be 2. Guillen, just 1, and Salmon's going to beat it out. They're not going to... No, they got him! Oh! Salmon throws the helmet. He thought he was safe. Salmon with a good head of steam down the line. Guillen with a good throw. And Tim thought he was safe. So Gill moves to second. 1 out for Glaus, who has doubled and struck out. He's 1 for 3. Charlton does his thing, and Glaus draws the walk. Now with Anderson at the plate, they'll give Norm the lefty and then make the change. So 2 on, 1 out, 8th inning in an 8-3 game. Seattle leads by 5. Anderson, however, smashed a home run onto the walkway in right center. Well, you're welcome, Bernie. Glad you like it. It's what I wanted to do growing up. So what's Anderson going to do here? They keep him in the ball game, and there's a fly ball right field in Ichiro. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Oh, the C's part, and Ichiro makes the catch. Oh, baby. So 2 out. And now they're going to come get him, and it's going to be Ryan Franklin. You're not going to burn Sasaki with the 5-run lead. So Ryan Franklin coming in. Pitching change coming to you from Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington. Is that what you wanted to do, Bernie? What did you end up doing? Ryan Franklin, by the way, wanted to be a major league pitcher. He's 28 years old, curveball at 89, and a standard pitcher. And since we're on the West Coast, that's Chevron for the rest of the country. Ryan does not have a record. I hit the wrong button. His earned run average is 113. Is that my mom? Update complete. Oh, I can now use my phone again. Thank you. Hold on 1 second. I've got to respond to this text. Nope. We'll meet you downstairs, period. All right. Franklin, last pitched on the 18th. A 3-2 win over Texas. No decision, inning and a third, 22 pitches, a hit and a strikeout. So overall, 8 innings, 5 hits, a run. It was earned. He's walked 2 and struck out 9 and has an earned run average of 113. And they'd like him to get the 4 outs to finish this one off. Molina 1 for 3 with a single. Runners on first and second. Fly ball, left center. Javier will move over and make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the 8th here in Seattle, 8-3. Send Mama Sticky. So it'll be Ichiro, Javier, and Edgar that face Pote. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, P-O-T-E. Starting his 3rd full inning award. Ichiro is 2 for 4. He has singled twice, driven in a run, scored twice, stole a base, and struck out. Oh! Bernie sold life insurance. Worked with Dennis Gilbert in Beverly Hills in 1979. Because you're out in Vegas now, right? Started his agency that year and met his clients, Jose Canseco and Tommy John. Wow. Tommy's going to live forever. He's going to outlive that surgery. Pitch to Ichiro is a chopper up the middle. Gil on the grass. Benji throws. 1 out. So here's Javier. Staying 1 for 3. A single, a run scored, a stolen base, and a walk. Pitch to Javier. There's a fly ball right field. Salmon is just going to turn and watch that go. That ball just kind of gained altitude. So Javier homers, and it's 9-3. Goodness gracious. Asphyxiation, huh? For Stan, that's his first home run of the year. I didn't think that was gone off the bat. I thought Salmon would corral that, but that just got higher and higher, and it is Seattle, so it's possible. 49 degrees is now turning into a cool night here in Seattle, but the Mariners are white hot. So here's Edgar, 1 for 4. His 3-run homer in the first pretty much ended the ballgame right there. Oh, wow. So Gilbert also negotiated the famous Bobby Bonilla Mets contract. Happy birthday to you. Eventually, Dennis became part owner of the White Sox. Wow. Well, the White Sox are on twice next week. Edgar, 1 for 4. Hit his 5th, driven in 18. Pote deals. Walked him. And that'll bring up Olerud, who's homered. So Pote is giving up 2. I'm assuming it's Pote. John, 1 for 2. Runner on first. 9 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Seattle's left on 7. Anaheim, 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and they have left on 6. Molina and Pote have a word that goes into left center field. Erstad will make the catch for the out. 2 away for Brett Boone. Brett 0 for 3. Has driven in a run, scored, and walked. Ground ball to first. Wooten takes it to the bag, and that should do it for the Mariners in this one. But they've opened up a can of party whoop-ass on Anaheim. A solo homer by Stan Javier is the lone hit. But it was a big one after 8. 9-3 Seattle. And so Ryan Franklin, 3 outs away from Seattle's 13th win of the young year. Hill, Kennedy, and Wooten due up for the Angels. Franklin, or Hill rather, is 0 for 3. Franklin, I'm not sure what that is, but Hill's going to reach. Is that a walk? Oh, actually it was strike 3, and Hill and Franklin put it in the dirt, and Lampkin couldn't pick it up. So it's a wild pitch. And so Hill reaches on the strikeout. Here's Kennedy. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. I wanted to do play-by-play, And somehow this kid from, has a bit of a New York accent. But I've lived in Vermont 47 of my 51 years. How the hell I developed a Bronx accent for some? I hear myself say words, and I hear Bronx in Scully. I don't mean to do it, but that's just the way you'd think. You'd think I would have picked up Ken Coleman, but I didn't. At least I wasn't Joe Castiglione. Pitch to Kennedy. There's a high fly ball, right field. Suzuki going back. Ichiro makes the catch. No, that's off the wall. I thought he caught it. It just missed off his glove, and it's second and third, nobody out. So Anaheim making some noise here. They have 2 on and nobody out for Wooten. Sean 1 for 3 with a single. And Wally Joyner, speaking of growing up in the 80s. Miska Muska Mouseketeer, he just shaved off all of his hair. How old is Wally Joyner in 2001? He is 39 years old. Thank you, Bernie. I think the disability has a lot to do with that. So Wally, coming home to Anaheim, of course, he was the Rookie of the Year in '86. He was going bald then. 6 for 39, a homer and 5 RBI. One of those RBI came on a pinch hit. So they'll give him Franklin will be given Joyner. There's nobody out in a 6-run lead. Erstad on deck. Joyner hits this one into right. Suzuki in the corner and will make the catch. Hill goes back to tag. 1 out. And Hill's going to hold. Suzuki is a good arm, but you need runs. Now, maybe Erstad will get the single and get you 2 here. But Darren is 1 for 3. He has walked. Franklin deals, and Erstad sends this one into left. Now, with 2 out, do you send Hill? Martin will make the catch. Hill goes back to tag, and then they're just going to throw it in the infield. Martin is not quite a ramen noodle, but pretty close. And it's 9-4. So the Angels do get 1 in, but trailing by 5. Last chance saloon here for Benji Gill, who has himself a triple. 1 for 3 in RBI, a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. The other thing is that this is the 5th year I've been doing these games. Don't go back and look for anything I did with that first replay in '82, which was the first season I did. And so 90 to 100 games for 5 years, you're going to develop. I hope you become good after a while. Pitch to Gill. Benji up the middle. That'll do it for Franklin. Kennedy's going to round third. Javier picks it up. And Kennedy is going to score. So again, you can see the run when you're up 5. It's now 9-5. It's a Dolly Parton score, and Salmon is up. Tim is 0 for 4. He has struck out twice. We're going to leave Franklin in. The advantage is with the pitcher here. Again, not a save situation yet. Tim has struck out twice. Franklin trying to... Nope, it's going to be a pinch hitter. Orlando Palmero. Must be some relation to Rafi, you would think. Orlando is 2 for 9 on the year. Doesn't have a pinch hit. Does have a homer and 2 RBI. And Arthur Rhodes is going to come in to face him. So pitching change, this game coming to you from Safeco Field in Seattle. Rhodes trying to get down the last out. 31 years old, a fastball at 93, and a ground ball plus pitcher. His 9th appearance of the year. Faced the Rangers 2 nights ago, so he has rest. Went 2/3 of an inning in their 3-2 win. 19 pitches, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. 6 1/3 for Arthur. 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He's given up 2 homers, walked 3, and struck out 7. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bernie says, because my mom says I need to take compliments better, I have the ability to paint a picture with my words and weave in anecdotes at the right time. Thank you. There is an art to this. Again, as a kid, Ken Coleman, of course, you know that, Bernie, was doing radio when I was a kid in the 80s. Bob Murphy, who, although I was not a Met fan by any stretch of the imagination of the mid-80s, just painted a word picture. Anyway, here's Palmeiro. Let's see what they do with him. Not a save yet. 9-5. Seattle still leads. Palmeiro stays in the game, gets away from Lampkin, and Gill moves up 90. And Anaheim is doing the best to work this last chance saloon. So it's a ball and a strike now to Palmeiro. And Arthur, I think he had been with Baltimore at this point, right? Takes a deep breath. 48 degrees now. It's a cold night in Seattle. Palmeiro in the right field. Ichiro should track this down. He does, and that will be the ball game. Seattle won this easily. Anaheim made it interesting in the 9th. But the Mariners are on fire. 9 runs, 9 hits. And they leave on 8. No errors. Anaheim, 5 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. And they left on 7. Yeah, if you listen to the games on the radio growing up, you learned. You know, one of those things that in the days before every game was accessible on television and that, you learned. And that, again, that's what I wanted to do. Pat Rapp, by the way, put a 4 2/3, 7 hits, 7 runs, all earned, a homer. He walked 7, struck out 3. And Pody, I'm assuming, 3 1/3, just kind of mopped up. Halama goes to 2-0, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Garrett Anderson's homer notwithstanding a walk and 5 strikeouts. And then Charlton, Franklin, and Rhodes did what they were supposed to do. 2 runs charged to Franklin, who could have gone 45 pitches. How about that? So an easy win for Seattle. They're 13-4. Anaheim falls to 7-10. So Seattle doing their best to see what they can do to clinch this puppy in the middle of April. They got a 4.5 game lead. The rest of this Friday night in baseball, the 20th, Chicago beat the Pirates 7-2. John Lieber 2-0. Martinez 0-2. Matt Stairs is 4th of the year, 1 for 4. Kind of see where my highlights are coming. Reds beat the Mets 5-4 in 11 innings. Mercado 1-1, or 1-0 rather. Cook 1-1. Ochoa, that's Alex, 3 for 5, his 3rd of the year, and a stolen base. Wow, there's a ton of highlights to read here. Atlanta shuts out Philadelphia 8-0. Jason Marquis 1-1. Dahl 0-2. Chipper Jones 4 for, or Jones, doesn't say Chipper or Andrew, 4 for 5, 2 RBI, and a double. I gotta make sure I didn't miss anything with that. Florida, 5 home runs, including 2 from Cliff Floyd, who now has 6 on the year. He drives in 4. Jason Grilli shuts down the Expos 8-1. He's 1-1. Tony Armas Jr. 1-1. The Red Sox say thank you. Cleveland dropped 19 hits. They pound Detroit 14-5. Chuck Finley 3-0. Sparks 1-2. Alabar 3 for 4. His 1st of the year, drives in 4. Vinny Castilla has a big night. 3 for 5. 5 RBI and a home run as Tampa destroys Baltimore 13-3. Rekar 1-2. Roberts 0-1. Yankees beat the Sox 3-1 at the stadium. Bobringer 1-0. Pete Shurek is 0 0-1. Tino Martinez, 2 for 4, his fourth of the year, drives in 2. That was a good game. St. Louis beats Houston. By the way, Brad, it's the Reds and Mets tomorrow. St. Louis beats Houston 8-6. They pound out 18 to the Cardinals. Rick Ankiel, 1-2. Was this the year that Ankiel had the meltdown in the playoff game? Or was that 2000? Scott Ellerton, 1-1. He takes a loss. This kid Pujols might actually be something. 5 for 5. Wow. His fourth of the year and drives in 2. Oakland beats Texas 9-7. Vizcaíno 1-0. Venafro, that sounds like a payment plan, is 0 for 2. Andres Galarraga, 3 for 4, his third of the year, and drives in 2. It was the year, 2000. I've never really felt bad for a pitcher until watching that game, and so poor Ankiel trying to recover. Remember, he came back as an outfielder. Not only to get it back, he had to learn a whole new position. Kansas City beats Toronto 5-3. Wilson gets the win, 1-0. Frascator goes to 0-1. Fulmer, 3 for 4, his second of the year. The White Sox beat Minnesota 7-6. Ozuna gets the win, his first. Brad Radke goes to 1-3. Keelty, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. Colorado beats Arizona in Phoenix 3-2. The Rockies steal 5 bases. Wasden gets the win, 1-0. Young Kim takes a loss, 0-1. Larry Walker, 2 for 5, his fourth of the year, drives in 3. San Francisco beats Milwaukee 5-1. Russ Ortiz goes to 3-1. Haynes, his way, falls to 1-2. And Rich Aurelia went 2 for 2. Big game for Kevin Brown for naught. San Diego beats Los Angeles in 13, 5-4. The Dodgers strike out 16 times. Kevin Brown struck out 10 on his own the other way and walked 2 over 7. Lawrence with the win, 1-0. Adams with a loss, 0-1. Ryan Klesko, 2 homers. He now has 3. Went 3 for 6. And as you saw, Seattle beat Anaheim 9-5. So as we leave you on this Wednesday afternoon, we'll have the Mets and the Reds for you tomorrow at noon. The Mets 3 out in the East. The Reds lead by 3 in the Central. Don't get all excited. We're not doing playoff tickets yet. And in the American League, Seattle by 4, Chicago by 4, the Red Sox by 1. San Francisco and San Diego are tied. And the pledge for next week is going to be Seattle and the Yankees. That should be a good one. Halama, who pitched tonight, against Andy Pettitte and his vitamin B12 bars. Next Wednesday afternoon, it'll be Seattle and Chicago. Aaron Seeley versus Baldwin. And then the Thursday special, Chicago and San Francisco. Not a lot of good choices there. So that'll do it for today. I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. Brad, I got a couple names, but I got company coming, so it'll be probably the night before I get back to you. The rest of you, have a good day, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow for the Mets and the Reds. So long.